For most people, hitting rock bottom happens in private. For Anthony Hopkins, it happened decades ago, long before Oscars, global fame, or legendary roles, and it nearly ended his life before it ever truly began. Now 50 years sober, the Hollywood icon is breaking his silence with a message that's hitting people far harder than any movie scene ever could. Because this story isn't about success. It's about the moment everything almost disappeared. Today, Anthony Hopkins is known as one of the greatest actors of all time. His performances are studied, quoted, and praised across generations. From terrifying intensity to quiet vulnerability, he's mastered every corner of the craft. But behind that polished legacy was a version of Hopkins very few people saw back then. A man losing control while the world had no idea. Long before fame stabilized his life, alcohol was quietly taking it apart. Hopkins has spoken openly about how drinking slowly stopped being fun and started becoming something darker. What began as social indulgence turned into dependency. And like many people in that cycle, he didn't fully realize how bad it had become until it almost cost him everything. The turning point came during a moment he still describes as terrifying. After a night of heavy drinking, Hopkins was involved in a dangerous driving incident, one that could have ended his life or someone else's. He said he doesn't even remember parts of it. What he does remember is the shock that followed. That moment changed everything. There was no dramatic intervention, no movie-style rescue, just a brutal realization: if he didn't stop, there would be no future to rebuild. So he did something that would define the next half-century of his life. He stopped drinking. Recently, Hopkins marked 50 years of sobriety with a quiet but powerful message shared online. There was no grand celebration, no self-congratulation, just honesty. He spoke directly to people who may be struggling right now, people who feel trapped, ashamed, or convinced it's too late to change. His words were simple, but they carried weight because they came from lived experience. He didn't pretend the journey was easy. He acknowledged how hard it was to walk away from something that once felt like comfort. He admitted that the early days were painful, confusing, and lonely. But he also made something clear. Sobriety didn't take his life away. It gave it back. What makes this milestone even more striking is what followed in the decades after. Hopkins didn't just survive. He thrived. Some of his most acclaimed performances came long after he got sober. His clarity sharpened. His career deepened. His longevity surprised everyone. Now in his late 80s, he's still working, creating, and inspiring, something he openly credits to the decision he made 50 years ago. And that's where his message hit hardest. Hopkins didn't frame sobriety as punishment or sacrifice. He framed it as choosing life, choosing possibility, choosing a future that once felt unreachable. He encouraged people to reach out, to ask for help, to stop believing they're alone in the struggle, even when it feels overwhelming. Importantly, he didn't claim his path is the same for everyone. He didn't offer miracle solutions or easy answers. He simply shared proof that one decision, made at the right moment, can completely alter the course of a life. The timing of his message wasn't accidental either. As the world enters a new year, Hopkins' words landed like a quiet reminder. Fresh starts don't have expiration dates. Redemption doesn't belong to the young. And change doesn't require perfection, just honesty. 50 years ago, Anthony Hopkins stood at a crossroads most people never see coming. Today he's standing on the other side of that decision, still here, still creating, and still reminding others that it's never too late to choose differently. And sometimes the bravest role a person ever plays is choosing to stay.